contraataques muy rabiosos, rumba la rumba la rumba, contraataques muy rabiosos, rumba la rumba la rumba. Deberemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Deberemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela.
My father, Nick Demas, was in the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. And he died when I was little, but I learned from my mother that he had come through the mountains, the Pyrenees, so I always wanted to do this. The altitude?
About how the brigaders, many thousands of brigaders from not only Europe but some from North America and many other places came across the Pyrenees by night after the closure of the border in February 1937, when they were no longer allowed to just move freely across the border, supposedly under the non-intervention pact, which, as we know, was like a carte blanche for Franco to organise and get support from Germany and Hitler and Mussolini. Yeah. So we salute their memory. We honour their memory today. We'll be following their footsteps.
Nightingale's chant, the dark wood night, is inlaid with ivory sound, while towards the white air of tomorrow rises in slow spiral the sleep of 30 men. We within our short tomorrow will have climbed into the violent ring of powder, among guns stream of venom and saw-edged fighting moods, there where there's a new world door to knock upon. These men are proud. Not all the world, though it knows a nightingale, knows us, who hear above all songs the steps of the old world come.
This was my first experience of mountainous terrain, and I was surprised to see so much vegetation. Until now I had not associated trees with mountains, yet here high in the Pyrenees there were magnificently wooded slopes with firs and pines in abundance. The sharp scent of the pine in the early morning air was wonderful.
We had reached the most dangerous part of our climb. Only an hour's journey divided us from Spain, but at any moment with the coming of daylight we might be spotted by the French frontier guards. We resumed our slightly staggering march. The strain was definitely telling on most of the party. This of course was not surprising. Many of them had probably never climbed anything higher than the top deck of a bus.
Were they watching you, tiny blue flowers crouching beside our path? Were their eyes watching you? So long ago and in the dark, how could you see? How could you know so long ago?
I don't know how they did it in the snow and at night. I could barely do it.
Probably there was snow at that
I know.
At that time because it was really harder
cold.
than harder than today.
Before they didn't have good shoes or anything.
Wow.
They had just been the
out
Depression.
We've made it to the top.
We were almost there. Of the 50 who had started out, 4 were now in a state of near collapse and had to be carried, but we had reached the summit without losing anyone.
Suddenly the guide pointed to a brownstone and said, "That is Spain." We all raised a cheer. Some of us ran, some walked, and some literally crawled on their hands and knees a few yards past this stone and lay exhausted knees of a number of large boulders. We had arrived. To this day I never remember having such a feeling of exultation. The joy of mental and physical happiness seemed so unreal, so much like intoxication, that after a while I felt almost sick, as if I'd reached the peak of physical enjoyment, and so must ebb back into normality again. Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah.
That was Bob Clark.
International
Bravo!
Viva las brigadas!
My darling Jack Brave, communist freedom fighter, sniper squadron commander for the Mackenzie Papineau, tender lover, husband, and he called himself my stalwart encourager. Here where you walked so long ago, may you now be free at last. John Penrod Presente.
Oh, wonderful.
Old Orpheus Lar compelled our feet to Spain and set our veins afire, useless to explain. This was our summit, peak of our heart's career. 40 years Moses trudged willingly to view his Canaan from Mount Nebo's height, when our apocalypse with eager light, red rising sun revealed an ecstasy. What if rash hopes turned ash in burning Spain? Yet we who have climbed up have not climbed in vain.
Per aquesta gent que va venir a lluitar contra el feixisme i contra un dictador que va estar aquí molt de temps. I bueno, només ho vull desitjar un fort aplaudiment per aquesta gent, perquè recordeu, esteu recordant aquest moment històric de la guerra, del moment que van marxar per aquest 4 d'abril.
Tota aquesta gent que diguem els brigadistes, no? que voleu mantenir-ho en el record. Doncs moltes gràcies per passar per aquí, per venir, per recordar-vos del nostre país, i us desitjo molta salut i fins a sempre.
Aquesta gent varen triomfar i el que és important és que tots plegats siguem solidaris i que dialogant puguem trobar camins de concòrdia i de pau. Moltes gràcies per el testimoni d'aquesta gent.
El Memorial de l'Exili és un plaer i alhora un deure moral participar en aquest acte d'homenatge als voluntaris britànics que en un moment difícil i convuls van tenir el coratge d'allistar-se en les files de les brigades internacionals. Aquest compromís i aquesta mostra de solidaritat cap al poble de l'estat espanyol durant la Guerra Civil no es pot, sens dubte, oblidar mai. Encara que ja han transcorregut més de 75 anys, és quelcom que ha de quedar per sempre més gravat a la memòria del nostre país i fins i tot, diria més, a la memòria europea, sobretot perquè fou un model de comportament ètic, un exemple indiscutible de responsabilitat social que dignifica la condició humana.
I'm very honoured to be here today to receive a plaque that the mayors of the local communities are going to present to the International Brigade Memorial Trust and to receive it on behalf of the Trust. And I would particularly like to remember some of our brigaders who were with us in 2006, Jack Jones, Jack Edwards, Bob Doyle. So I would like to honour the memory of all the brigaders who came this way, but particularly for those brigaders who were with us in 2006 and have subsequently died.
Bravo!
Yeah, bravo!
Tea against the Hitlers, the Mussolinis, against the fascist enemy, for peace and progress, for truth and freedom, for people's true democracy, against the Hitlers, the Mussolinis, against the fascist enemy, for peace and progress, for truth and freedom, for people's true democracy.
El monumento a la niña esa que
Vámonos.
Are you going to find the monument?
Approaching the foot of the mountains, we passed many old Catalonian land workers who raised their hands in the clenched fist salute and greeted us with Salud, Camaradas, greetings, comrades. They were the first Spaniards we had ever seen, and it was obvious by the warmth of their greeting that we were more than welcome in government Spain. After slaking our thirsts, we sat or lazed in the sunshine in small groups, chatting, exchanging experiences, getting to know each other. Sitting there, waiting for the trucks, I reflected on the last few days. I had progressed from being an onlooker to an active participant, prepared to do my best to defeat fascism and prevent another world war. I was now inside Spain, among men, impelled by the same essential urge.
A loud call of the bugle and the gate swung open. The guards presented arms, and in a matter of minutes we were in a large room. A perfect babel filled the room. It seemed as if all the representatives of the peoples of the world were present in this one room.
Exactly. And it was...
Dear friends from the IBMT, thank you to come. We are very glad to be among you today in this small ceremony in the memory of those who fought for the liberties, for democracy, for the legal government of the Republic.
Of course, we don't want to go back to the war. Of course, we don't want to go back to the violence. And it's because of this that we're giving this special homage. Waiters and shop walkers look you in the face and treat you as an equal. Servile and even ceremonial forms of speech had temporarily disappeared. Nobody said señor, or don, or even usted. Everyone called everyone comrades for fundamental rights and trying to build that to the general conscience, especially to the new generations, so that this will never happen again. And we have to do this struggle to continue to work for special liberties for all of us. So thank you very much.
Europa en aquests moments planteja molts paral·lelismes amb l'experiència dels anys 30, uns anys marcats pel descrèdit a la democràcia liberal i per precisament l'enfortiment dels extrems vessants més ultradretanes i ultraesquerranes. Justament, però, actes com aquests ens afirmen i ens comprometen amb els valors democràtics més profunds i ens serveixen també per enviar un missatge de compromís al conjunt de la ciutadania, especialment amb el testimoniatge de les persones que van sortir en defensa de la llibertat i dels seus familiars que en preserven la memòria.
We're a very international group here today. We not only represent members of the International Brigade Memorial Trust from Britain and Ireland, we also have members coming from Holland, coming from the United States, from Puerto Rico, from Germany, and our friends, the amigos de Amistad con los Brigadistas Internacionales, who are based in Madrid. So it's a wonderful honour to have that and to get this feeling of such a unity between us and local people here in Catalonia, Figueres and all the little pueblos up in the mountains towards the Pyrenees, which also suffered very greatly in the bombing.
Thank you very much, Pauline.
It
It was not fraud or foolishness, glory, revenge or pay. We came because our open eyes could see no other way. There was no other way to keep man's flickering truth alight. These stars will witness that our course burned briefer, not less bright.
Pero igual que combatimos, rumba la rumba la rumba ba. Pero igual que combatimos, rumba la rumba la rumba ba. Prometemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Prometemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Prometemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Contraataques muy rabiosos, rumba la rumba la rumba ba. Contraataques muy rabiosos, rumba la rumba la rumba ba. Deberemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Deberemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Prometemos resistir, ay Carmela, ay Carmela. Prometemos resistir, ay Carmela.
That's when I first understood one is never alone in this fight. But everything new that I meet, no matter how strange and uncertain, holds something familiar that proves the fight is still on.
Ours was just a short trip up to the top of the mountain in the Pyrenees yesterday, and a short passage across from France into Spain, and that was tiring enough for us. Well fed, fairly fit, with all our modern equipment and footwear, etc. And again, it's beyond imagination as to the grit and determination and the courage of those international brigaders. What it must have taken simply to have got from their home country into Spain to begin the battle proper. Awesome.
Enmig de la soledat.